sì wà.
There is the will of God
Ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run wà.
and your own will.
Ìfẹ́ tìrẹ náà sì wà.
Are you getting it?
Ṣé ń yé yín bí?
Satan's will.
A sì tún ní ìfẹ́ Sátánì pẹ̀lú.
Amen.
Àmín.
Now Jesus was about to go to the cross.
Jésù ó tó àkókò láti lọ sórí àgbélébú
He
fún
was
un.
about to be arrested
Ó tó àkókò àti wọ́n mú
and be crucified.
àti láti kàn án.
He looked at the trouble that is coming.
Ó wo wàhálà tó ń bọ̀ níwájú rẹ̀.
He said, "My soul is heavy
Ó ní ọkàn mi gbọgbẹ́, ọkàn mi wúwo.
and exceeding sorrowful even to death."
Ó sì bàjẹ́ gidigidi títí dé ojú ikú.
He was telling his disciples.
Ó ń sọ fún àwọn ẹ̀yìn rẹ̀.
He was expressing his feeling to them.
Ó ń fi tó ìmọ̀lára rẹ̀ hàn fún
How
wọn.
sorrowful he was.
Bínú rẹ̀ ṣe bàjẹ́ tó.
How heavy he was.
Bí ọkàn rẹ̀ ṣe wúwo sí.
And in the midst of this trouble,
Láàrin gbogbo wàhálà yìí.
he has a will in his mind.
Ó ní ìfẹ́ kan ní ọkàn ara
What
rẹ̀.
was his will?
Kí ni ìfẹ́ ọkàn rẹ̀?
He was about to drink.
Kó mú aago.
That he will not need to go to the cross and die.
Ó fẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run kó yí kúrò kó má bàa jẹ́ pé yóò lọ sórí àgbélébú yóò lọ kú.
And he cried to his father,
Ó wá ké sí Olúwa bàbá rẹ̀.
"Father,
Bàbá,
why don't you allow this cup to pass over
kí
me?
ló dé tó ṣe jẹ́ kí aago ìkórè kọjá mi?
That's what I will.
Ní tí mo fẹ́ nìyí.
But
Ṣùgbọ́n
I don't want it according to my will."
mi ò fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìfẹ́ tèmi.
That is to say,
Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí pé
if it is a must
tó bá ṣe pé dandan ni
that I must pass through this trouble,
pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ la wàhálà yìí kọjá.
if that is your will
Tó bá jẹ́ pé ìfẹ́ rẹ nìyí
to pass through this trouble,
pé láti la.
prove your obedience. Prove your obedience.
Ọlọ́run kò lè buwọ́ lu ìgbọràn rẹ.
When you obey, only when it tallies with what you want.
Nígbà tó bá jẹ́ pé ìgbà tó bá tí Ọlọ́run nìkan ló máa ń gbọ́ràn sí lẹ́nu.
When it's comfortable for you to do.
Nígbà tó rọ̀ Ọlọ́run láti ṣe nìkan ni.
The time that God can prove your obedience
Ìgbà tí Ọlọ́run lè bọ́wọ́ lu ìgbọràn rẹ.
is when that instruction is difficult.
Yóò jẹ́ nígbà tó bá.
When that instruction is difficult.
Yóò jẹ́ nígbà tó bá jẹ́ pé ìtọ́ni yìí nira.
When that instruction is painful for you.
Nígbà tí ìtọ́ni yìí tó ro ọ́ lára.
And you still went ahead. Yes, God will say, "This boy, this woman, this man is obedient to me." And when God sees anybody that obeys instruction, the conclusion of God is this. He will say, "Now I know that you love me." When he told Abraham, "Go and sacrifice your only son Isaac to me," and Isaac took that boy. They went to the Mount Moriah. They got there. He didn't change his mind. He lied down the boy. The boy himself did not struggle. Both of them agree that this sacrifice has to be done. And while he brought out his knife and he wanted to put it on the neck of that boy, God stopped him. And God said, "Now I love me." To prove your love for him is when you stay at the center of his will. That no matter what God wants is what I will do. No matter what is my desire, I will give it up to do the will of God. How do you now, what you must do to stay at the center of God's will for your life? I need to let you know that you can live all your life for yourself. That nothing is lived for God. But one thing is very certain. You didn't send yourself here. How many of you believe that? You were sent here. And you will go back to do what?
Wàá sì tún padà lọ ṣe kí ni?
What will you go back to do?
Kí ni wàá padà lọ ṣe?
You go back to give account
Wàá padà lọ jíyìn.
of how you spend your life.
Bí o ṣe gbé ìgbé ayé rẹ.
It would have been better for some people not to have been born at all.
Yóò ti dáa fún àwọn kan láti jẹ́ pé a ò tẹ̀ bí wọn rárá.
Because they live this life only for themselves, not for
Torí
God.
pé wọ́n gbé ayé yìí fún ara wọn nìkan.
The only way to live for God
Ọ̀nà kan láti gbé ayé fún Ọlọ́run.
is to stay at the center of His will for your
Ó ní
life.
láti wà nínú àárín gbùngbùn ìfẹ́ rẹ̀ fún
Only
ayé
His
rẹ̀.
will and His
Ìfẹ́
will
rẹ̀
alone.
nìkan àní ìfẹ́ rẹ̀ nìkan.
So what you must do
Ohun tó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe.
to stay at the center of God's will for your life,
Láti dúró ní àárín gbùngbùn ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún ayé rẹ̀.
you must deliberately and intentionally make effort to know the will of God.
O gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ọ́mọ̀, o gbọ́dọ̀ tiraka láti mọ ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún ayé rẹ.
And to do it.
Àti láti ṣe é.
One thing is for you to know the will of God.
Ọ̀tọ̀ ni pé láti mọ ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún ayé rẹ.
Another thing is to do it.
Ìmí náà sì tún ni pé kó o lè
If you don't
ṣe
know
é.
the will of God,
Tó o bá mọ ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run,
you won't be able to do it.
o ò ní lè ṣe é.
Amen.
Àmín.
And you have to take deliberate step
O ti nílò láti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ àmọ̀ọ́mọ̀
towards
ṣe
knowing the will of God.
nípa mímọ
What
ìfẹ́
is the
Ọlọ́run.
will of God in this matter?
Kí ni ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run nínú ọ̀ràn yìí?
It's not anything you see you can do.
Kì í ṣe ohun gbogbo tó o bá rí ló lè ṣe.
In John chapter 5 verse 30,
Nínú ìwé Jòhánù orí karùn-ún ẹsẹ̀ ọgbọ̀n.
let's look at example of Jesus. John 5:20
Ìwé
verse 30.
Jòhánù orí karùn-ún ẹsẹ̀ ọgbọ̀n.
Jesus said,
Jésù wípé,
I can of my own self do nothing. But most of the time, what you are saying is,
ṣùgbọ́n lọ́pọ̀ ìgbà tí wọ́n sọ ni wípé
I can do it by myself.
pé mo lè dá a ṣe, mo
I
lè
have
dá
my
a ṣe
brain.
fúnra mi.
Into that shoe today,
Ìjọ ò lè wọ́rù bàtà kan náà
into
yìí.
that shoe today.
Ìjọ ò lè wọ́rù bàtà kan náà bẹ́ẹ̀
Can you make up your
lónìí.
mind that's the life I want to live?
Ìjọ ò lè pinnu nínú ayé ara rẹ pé ti irú
He
ìgbé ayé tí mo fẹ́
said,
gbé
he said
nìyí.
further,
Ó sọ̀rọ̀ síwájú.
as I hear,
Ó ní bí mo ti gbọ́,
I judge.
mò ń
And
dájọ́.
my judgment is just.
Òdodo sì ni
Because
ìdájọ́
I
mi.
seek not my own will.
Ó ní nítorí orí èmi kò wá ìfẹ́ ti èmi tìkára mi.
Seek not my own will,
Ó ní èrà mi.
but the will of the Father
Because-
which hath sent me. That sent
Bí
me.
kò ṣe ìfẹ́ ti ẹni tí ó rán mi.
So do you now see that you were sent here?
Ǹjẹ́ orí pa rán ìwọ náà wá ní báyìí?
Your mother gave birth to you indeed.
Ìyá rẹ ló bí ọ lóòótọ́
Your
lóòótọ́.
father gave birth to you indeed.
Bàbá rẹ ló bí ọ lóòótọ́.
But if it was because they were willing to give birth, that's the reason why they give birth to you.
Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá jẹ́ pé nítorí pé wọ́n fẹ́ bímọ náà ni wọ́n ṣe bí ọ.
There won't be anybody that will not have children.
Kò ní sẹ́ni tí ò ní lọ́mọ láyé.
Are you getting me?
Ìjọyè yín bí.
Some people have been married for 20 years now.
Àwọn kan ti ṣègbéyàwó fún 20 ọdún báyìí.
They are looking for children they didn't have.
Wọ́n ń wá ọmọ wọn ò sì sí
Are they
ìní.
not willing to have children?
Ṣé kò wù wọ́n láti bímọ
They are
ni?
willing,
Ó wù wọ́n.
but God didn't give them.
Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ò fún wọn.
So it's not because your daddy and mommy are willing to have children. That's why you are here.
Nítorí náà kì í
It
ṣe
was
pé torí pé bàbá àti
sent
ìyá rẹ
you
fẹ́ bí
here
wọ́n ṣe bí
through
ọ.
them.
Ọlọ́run ló rán ọ
So
jáde
Jesus
nípasẹ̀ wọn.
recognized
Jésù mọ̀ pé
he was sent here.
pé a rán òun sí ayé ni.
And he talked to himself.
Ó wá bá ara rẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀.
If I'm being sent here,
Tó bá yẹ pé lóòótọ́ láti rán mi síbí,
it is wisdom
ọgbọ́n ló jẹ́
to listen to the one that sent me here
láti tẹ́tí sí ẹni tó rán mi wá
and do everything according to his will.
àti láti ṣe ohun gbogbo ní pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ rẹ̀.
How can somebody send you to market
Báwo lẹnìkan ṣe lè rán ọ lọ sọ́jà?
and he tells you, and he didn't give you instruction of what to do in the market?
Kò sì tí kò wá fún ọ ní ìtọ́ni ohun tí wàá ṣe nínú ọjà.
Is that possible?
Ṣó ṣeé ṣe?
If somebody is sending you to market,
Tẹ́nìkan bá rán ọ lọ sọ́jà,
he will tell you the reason why he's sending you.
yóò sọ ìdí tó fi ń rán ọ lọ
If
náà
it's
ni.
cloth he wants you to buy
Tó
for
bá jẹ́
him.
pé aṣọ ló fẹ́ kó rà fún un.
If it's phone he wants you to buy
Tó
for
bá
him.
jẹ́ pé ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ni.
If it's pepper he wants you to buy
Tó
for
bá
him.
jẹ́ pé ata ni.
If it's meat he wants you to buy for
Tó
him.
bá jẹ́ pé ẹran ló fẹ́ kó rà.
You will wait for instruction. What do you want me to do for you in the
Wàá
market?
dúró fún ìtọ́ni látọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀ pé kí lẹ fẹ́ kí n rà látọjà.
And when you get to the market,
Nígbà tó bá sì dọ́jà,
if he has said,
tó bá jẹ́ pé aṣọ ló rán kó bóun rà wá.
you will not go and buy phone.
O ní lọ rẹ ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wálé
Or
fún
you
un.
just get to the market and say, I see good phones.
Definitely
when you get to the market, you will see so many things that are not the things you have come to market to buy.
Amen. Any request?
Please, that is disturbing. When you get to market, you see many things. Amen. You know, women. It's very difficult to follow women to market. Men, when a man goes to market, a man, he goes to where he's going. Like, I don't know you, but me. If I want to go and buy something, I just face where I'm going. Amen. But my wife will check many things. Amen. They will check many things. And they will end up buying even some things they didn't plan to buy when they get to market. But when somebody sends you to market, you go and buy what he wants you to buy in the market. Somebody sent me here. I should not do anything except according to whatever I want me to do. You too must take that to your heart. He said something. He said, I seek not my own will. That is where comes his own action. His own action. You see it here. That is to say, he took it upon himself only to seek God's way. What is God's way in this matter? What is God's way in that matter? And that is only what he will do. That God's way may be popular. It may not be popular. It may be what people like. It may not be what people like. But as long as that is the will of God, it's already sold out to do it. That is what you must do. If you too, this one lifetime opportunity you have, if you're going to stay at the center of God's will for your life, many times your own will come out to contend with the will of God, will of men around you. You will see what men are doing. You will see what is in vogue, what is but it is contrary to the will of God. If you are a child of God indeed, you must make up your mind like Jesus did. I won't do because it is popular. I won't do this because many people are doing it. I will do this because that's the will of God. You know, one of the statements in the choir song this morning says, this world is what? It's changing. The world is what? The world is changing. Amen. We had a meeting last week Tuesday, and the man of God that was taking the meeting was telling us the year that when there is a program on television, people will be running. You remember, people will be running to go to watch because the television only at the house. Are you getting it? I remember some kind of those films. You remember Super Story too? That time, Super Story. That one looks like the recent of other one. Super Story. Some of you new generation, you will understand. Every Thursday, when we finish in the church, I remember my children when we get to the house like this, the first thing they go to the television. Amen.
Àmín.
We'll be struggling to cook. We'll be struggling. Everybody want to watch super story.
Kálukú ló fẹ́ wo ìtàn tó dùn.
Because the television is only where?
Nítorí móhùnmáwòrán
Not
ilé
in
nìkan
our
ló wà.
car,
Kò sínú
not
mọ́tò.
in our hand,
Kò sí lọ́wọ́
but
wa.
in the house.
Ṣùgbọ́n nínú ilé.
But the world has changed.
Ṣùgbọ́n ayé ti yí padà, ó ti
Where
yàtọ̀
is now
báyìí.
television?
Níbo ni móhùnmáwòrán
The
rẹ wà?
television is in our hand.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
Everybody is carrying about
Gbogbo
television.
èèyàn ló ń rù kiri.
The world is changing.
Ayé ìgbọ̀n
I
ẹsẹ̀
know the
kọkànlá.
plan that I have
Ó
towards
ní
you.
èmi mọ ètò tí mo ní fún
I know
yín.
the thought that I have towards you.
Mo mọ èrò tí mo ní fún
He
yín.
said they are good thoughts,
Ó ní èrò rere.
good plan
Èrò rere.
to give you a future
Láti fún yín ní ọjọ́ iwájú.
and a good end.
Àti ìgbà ìkẹyìn tó
If
dára.
you want that future to
Tó o
materialize,
bá fi ọjọ́ iwájú yẹn kó
hello,
farahàn.
you want future to materialize,
Ẹ fẹ́ kọjọ́ iwájú yẹn kó farahàn.
to be as God has planned and proposed
O
it.
fẹ́ kó jẹ́ àǹtí Ọlọ́run ti ṣètò bó ṣe ti
You
ṣètò
have a
àtìlẹ̀.
responsibility,
Ìwọ náà ní ojúṣe o.
and that responsibility is that you will seek His will and
Ojúṣe
you
ẹni
will
pé
stay at the
wàá wá
center of His
ìfẹ́
will
rẹ̀,
for your
wàá
life.
sì ṣe é, wàá dúró ní àárín gbùngbùn rẹ̀.
When you choose any other life,
Nígbà tó bá
hello,
ti yan ayé mìíràn,
any kind of life,
onírúurú ayé,
because that's what people is doing,
torí táwọn ènìyàn ń ṣe nìyẹn.
one thing you are going to miss
Nǹkan kan tí wàá pàdánù.
is that the plan of God cannot come to pass in your
Ó
life.
ní wípé ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run, ètò Ọlọ́run kò ní wá sí ìmúṣẹ náà
Everybody
yẹn.
can live anyhow if you want to live anyhow.
Gbogbo èèyàn ló lè gbégbá ìwọ̀n bó bá ṣe wù wọ́n tó bá fẹ́ gbé wá ṣe
God
wù
will
wọ́n.
not lose anything if you live anyhow.
Ọlọ́run ò pàdánù nǹkan tó bá gbáyé rẹ bó ṣe wù ọ́.
Amen.
Àmín.
But you are going to lose many things. You
Ṣùgbọ́n ìwọ ni wàá pàdánù ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan.
will lose the plan of God for your life.
Wàá pàdánù ètò Ọlọ́run fún ayé
May
rẹ.
you not lose the plan of God for your life.
O ò ní pàdánù ètò
I
Ọlọ́run
didn't
fún
hear
ayé
your
rẹ.
amen. That's
Mi ò
not
gbọ́ àmín rẹ.
I say, may you not lose the plan of God for your life. Number 2,
Ìkejì.
from John chapter 5 verse 30
Láti ìwé
again.
Jòhánù
Let's go back to
orí
John
karùn-ún ẹsẹ̀
5:30. John 5:30. Jesus said,
Jésù wípé,
I can of my own self do nothing as I hear. So how does he know what to do?
báwo ló ṣe mọ nǹkan tí yóò ṣe?
How does he know the will of God?
Báwo ló ṣe mọ ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run?
He said,
Ó wípé,
as I hear,
bí mo ṣe gbọ́,
as I hear,
bí mo ṣe ń gbọ́,
I judge.
mò ń dájọ́.
And what does that mean?
Kí ló túmọ̀ sí?
He always listens
Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí wípé ó ń tẹ́tí sílẹ̀
to hear God.
láti gbọ́ Ọlọ́run.
Hello, open your eyes and ears.
Ẹ lajú yín kẹ́wù àti etí yín.
Hello. He often do what? He often listens.
Ó máa ń tẹ́tí sílẹ̀.
He often listens.
Ó máa ń tẹ́tí sílẹ̀.
It takes you to listen
Yóò gbà ọ́ láti tẹ́tí sílẹ̀
before you can hear.
kó o tó lè gbọ́.
If you cannot listen,
Tó o bá lè tẹ́tí,
you cannot hear.
o ò lè gbọ́.
Amen.
Àmín.
Isaiah chapter 30
Ìwé wòlíì Àìsáyà orí
and verse
ọgbọ̀n.
21. Let's look at Isaiah 30, 21. Isaiah 30, 21. Isaiah 30, 21. Can we read it together?
Ǹjẹ́ a lè ká papọ̀
This is
bí?
not Isaiah 30, 21.